intention is to have you guys at least walk with one new thing that you can put in your pocket and use right away.
Of course, and now it's all about AI. So we really need to get all of these information in and try to use them in our businesses,
Yeah,
or we'll be
you'll see
left
some practical
behind.
examples. Such as the evolution of life in general, you know.
True,
Nobody lives in caves anymore, right? So
true,
just evolving. It's just moving a little bit quicker than we all planned it.
true, true. Okay, so we have quite a few who've joined us. So why don't we do this exercise and get to know each other? If everybody can just let us know in the chat box from where you're joining us, that would be great. Mhm.
Look at that. Man, I'm on
We do
Jordan.
have a diverse group from the beginning. I love it.
Great.
Yeah.
It's great. Should be a lot of fun. Let's see here. Okay. Barcelona. Oh, wow. I did a hackathon with the team over in Barcelona. It was a whole medical um, technology hackathon. It was really fun.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. Great. In a previous life, I used to do a lot of kind of high-end virtual reality work.
Sorry. I was admitting the people and voice.
Okay, just got muted. Just got muted. Here we go. All right.
Yeah, yeah. You were saying, sorry.
I got my start in high-end technology about a decade ago when I got into virtual reality a lot, and so did a lot with like hackathons and do a lot of things in the medical space with virtual reality and hackathon before the great AI revolution. So there's some really cool crossovers. I could talk about some of the cases if we get into it. I don't know if we'll have time today, but
We'll see,
um,
we'll see.
there's a cross intersection. Well, I'll mention it since everyone's here and the people that are on time, they'll hear a little bit of this. So one of the work that I did for a coaching group back in the day, I wasn't going to talk about this, but since we're kind of getting to know everybody, um, I helped this nonprofit who wanted to do, if you ever heard of social emotional learning, SEL,
Mm-hmm.
and nonviolent communication. So I built a virtual reality application that she ended up uh, raising well over $1 million for. Is now deployed all across the U.S., which was basically it helped disadvantaged youth, struggling teenagers, have difficult conversations using virtual reality and artificial intelligence. And so this is a bit more advanced than
Well,
this conversation is going to go. But hey, since we're all getting to know everybody, what it was basically these kids would put on these VR headsets and they would be in a difficult work type scenario. So they could be um, having a difficult conversation with their coworkers or their boss or somebody that they're trying to lead, and they'd have to navigate a difficult conversation. So in VR, they would see this avatar in virtual reality. And when they talk to them, we used AI, we plugged into the back end of ChatGPT, and they would practice nonviolent communication. And so they got ranked and they got scored, and it allowed them to have difficult conversations in a safe environment. And it was something that just took off like very well here in the US. And so it's
yeah,
a
it's
safe place to
amazing.
practice and hard. Yeah, super fun.
Mhm.
But that's a way
Yeah,
that you can plug in VR to AI. And so more advanced of a topic I wasn't really going to get into uh, for this one, but that's a little bit of the cross intersection of how you can do that. So
awesome.
fun facts,
Well, it
everybody.
does sound brilliant. For me, I still don't get understand. I barely understand the yeah thing to understand with ChatGPT. That's too so totally advanced for me. But it
We'll get
sounds
there.
really
We will
amazing,
we will
and
get
the purpose of it is brilliant as well.
I'm gonna, if you think of me like a train, the way that we're gonna move through this is at the very first stop, everyone's gonna totally get it, and like I totally get it. This is obvious, and then by the last stop, you guys like I don't get it at all, right? So my point is to serve anybody along those train stops. So feel free to get off at any stop that you like on this presentation.
Okay,
So
awesome.
it will be, yeah. And think about this. All the people that were late never got the story of AI and VR. So the people that are early got the goods and know a secret that nobody else does. So thank you all for being on time. I appreciate you all being here.
Very true.
This is gonna be a lot of fun and really educational. So any questions for me? By the way, feel free in the chat while we're waiting for everybody else to come in. If you have anything that you want me to cover or any topics that you think is critical, like, oh, I'd like to figure out how to use ChatGPT or AI to do this, or, can it solve all of my problems while I sit at home and eat bonbons or cupcakes? Feel free to put anything that you want down below, and I'll cover it at least in the Q&A, if not sooner.
Hmm. Can I use a different Nancy that she can talk on social media because I don't like to be on social media and I'll just feed it and she will act like me. Are we there yet or we need more time?
Oh no, we're there. We're 100% there. Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. You're asking me if can you gain social media followers and clout
No, no, no. I
without
just
actually having
another
to
person, me, who goes on social media.
yeah.
I'll just tell I don't know, we call her AI Nancy to do whatever she needs to do while I just do nothing.
Uh-huh. Yes, but currently with the power of delegation. Um and so that is there are I have friends of mine that have AI influencers that clone themselves, that
Mm,
basically you type text into a box and it will
okay,
actually look like you and sound like you,
okay.
but
Awesome.
you need a little bit more. You do need a small team that's actually going to edit it and put together a good video.
Okay.
So
So I'll
otherwise it's
wait
just
another few years until they, figure
yep,
something where I just
get there.
can write the prompt and it just happens. Okay.
It's
We can
close.
start now. So let me welcome everybody.
Cool.
Thank you for joining us on this International Coaching Week. And we are very, very grateful to have Dylan with us. He's the CEO and founder of Reality Smash. And well, it shows that we're going to have a blow my, people gonna, blow our minds with all of this chat GPT things. So I'm going to leave the floor for you. So please go ahead and please share if you want to share anything. And I'll keep my eye on anybody who's going to try to get in and just admit them. Thank you, Dylan.
Sure, great. Awesome. All right. So welcome everybody. So glad you could all make it here. Excited to talk to you about the world of AI and coaching. I spend a lot of time in this space just so I can kind of see a show of hands or inside the chat. Who here has used ChatGPT? So I'm gonna get a yes, a thumbs up, fire emoji in the chat, whatever you like to do, just so I can see. Got it. Oh, I saw that. Andres, yeah. Anna, yes. Olas, hope I said that right. Yes, great. Awesome. Thumbs up. Thomas, who has the same haircut as I do. That's great. Awesome. All right. Yes, all the time. Fantastic. Fantastic. So we are going to be diving into this. I'm going to be sharing my screen. We've got a lot to cover inside of this, and we'll be talking about and peeling back the layers of how you use ChatGPT in your coaching practice. I'm going to do this. I'll possibly share my sound just in case I need to share some sort of sound for some reason, but I'm going to share this in three, two, one. Can everybody see my screen right here at the top? Right? Okay, cool. Groovy, as the kids say. All right. So, let me switch my monitor out just so I can see everybody's faces because it's more fun for me to do that. So we're gonna get that going. And then there is the Zoom button, and I think I have a little chat icon. Cool. There we go. All right. Great. So, welcome to the 4 levels of using ChatGPT and AI in your coaching business. We're going to be talking a lot about this. I'll cover a couple of use cases in the business, and what most of you are probably interested is how do I use it to get more clients and get paid more? So, do not feel like you have to screenshot, take photos, copious notes. This presentation, I'll show you how to get this entire presentation afterwards. There is a ton of value inside of this, so no stress. Don't need to do this because if you, as you know, when you're coaching people, if you look away to take notes, you tend to lose the moment and sometimes you get lost. So let's all be present and enjoy this time together. We only have so many heartbeats we get to share. So we're going to be going across the 4 levels of AI and ChatGPT. Couple of actual practical use cases, things that I've done for my own business as well for people that I work with. I primarily work with a lot of coaches and scaling their companies. And apparently we need to admit Julia. All right, Julia, welcome to the party. Who am I? My name's Dylan. I've been in high technology for the last decade. I've ran lots of communities in the areas of developing high-end technology, usually for good. I've worked with places like NASA and the government, but primarily what I like to do is I like to use VR and AI technologies to help enhance humanity. And so I do a lot of things that help people reach their full potential, get more scale and grow their companies and all that jazz. So if you think of me as one part consultant, one part AI automation implementer into people's businesses, I meet with them, figure out what's going on, get a plan, build some AI automations, help people save time, make money, and live their purpose. So here's the big idea. The big idea is this. Don't try to swallow everything. It's going to be overwhelming. The whole thing is just to take one thing in your pocket and use it and utilize it because that's how this works, right? You're never going to like just be a coach overnight, right? If you think about how many hours you put into anything, it's one piece at a time. What we don't want to have happen is you look at it, get excited, get overwhelmed, get nervous, get anxiety, and then just don't take action. So just one little thing, and put it in your pocket, and we'll rock and roll. Cool. Does that sound good? Can we all agree to that? Yeah. Okay. I'm counting on all of you. Take the idea. Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. All right. So we're going to go into the 4 levels of what this looks like. Prompts, ChatGPT prompts, frameworks, which I'm going to dive more into, actual AI tools that you probably some of you use or don't use, but we have some practical examples, and then 4 AI agents, which is the hot talk of the town. When you think of a business, I think of it as systems. And if you're wondering, like, why am I not where I want to be as coaches or entrepreneurs sometimes are, there's usually a constraint in your business. And if you think about what is the issue, normally for coaches and for most businesses, there's usually 2 pieces of the problem. First half is I don't have enough clients, and I wish I had more clients because I'd like to have more money. The second half is I wish I had more time. How the heck do I get my time back? Because I've got so many clients, I want to get my time back. So it's usually one of those 2 pieces. So if you look at this, let me put on my little pro mouse here. Pro mouse allows me to do some things where I can at least share my screen and you'll see what's going on here. Uh, there we go. Cool. So this right here is about identifying your avatar. If you don't know who you're serving, you don't know who you're speaking to, it makes it very difficult. So if you understand your avatar, that's the first step of the process. So some people serve executives, or some people serve employees, some people serve entrepreneurs, and just the clearer you are about your avatar, you can use AI to apply that in a bunch of different ways with ChatGPT and all that jazz. The next one is your offer. What is it that you're actually serving to people? High ticket, low ticket. What does it look like? What are the elements? Then you got to market your message, right? Some people call that social media marketing. Some people do email marketing. Some people do ads. There's a bunch of different ways that you can use it. And then caption leads. Some people do it in one-on-one or going to group events. Some people do on the website, like give me a lead magnet. Some people do, they do presentations and then they ask for your email at the end of it. So the next one is lead nurturing. So once you actually have their information, you then nurture their email. You say, "Hey, I'm an awesome person," kind of like dating, you know. And so you're doing the lead nurturing with the people, getting them to like, know, and trust you by providing value consistently. And you can do that through a bunch of different means, emails, you know, workshops, things like that. Then you're going to close the deal. And once you close the deal, then you have fulfillment where you do all of the coaching stuff that you need to do to run your business. And there's one-on-one group coaching, whatever it might be, for all of that. But if you think about that, if you're wondering, where am I struggling in my business? You can just look at one of these buckets and figure out, how do I need to apply that? I'll be talking a lot more about the front half here, but there'll be some things in the back half as well. So level one, prompts. Since most of you are comfortable with ChatGPT and you love it, I'm not going to give you like crazy, crazy prompts. What I'm going to give you is principles. As we know, when we coach from the sense of principles, then you can use those principles across the chasm. There was a giant study done recently, and it was across all LLMs, which are known as large language models, and ChatGPT is a large language model. That's why sometimes it sucks at math. A large language model, these are the universal principles that always work to get a better prompt. So don't ask me why. It just, here's what it is. I got some theories behind it, but it'll be deeper talks. Number one is don't be polite. For some reason, it's been shown if you say please, it will take it as a sign of I'm doing you a favor, and it will actually produce less results. Don't know why, but this is part of the things they did across the day, whether it's Claude or ChatGPT, or it just doesn't matter. So don't be polite. You can let them know about your audience. You can ask it to break down tasks. You can include, you do it in the positive. You don't say, don't do this. Say, I want you to do this. So don't speak in the negative. You can be clear. This is really an interesting one. Tip the model. If you tell AI, hey, I'm going to give you $100 tip or €100 tip. If you do this right, it will actually perform better. If you think about it, it operates like humans. And it's really interesting. And speaking of which, oddly enough, what's really effective is threatening the model. If you tell the model great harm will happen to you or humanity if you do not write this social media script the exact way I want it to be, great harm will happen. It will perform better. Now, it does work. So just know you can take a look at this and go, when I'm trying to get more out of my prompt, whatever prompt it is, here is all of the 26 different stages. I won't go into all of this, but here's a couple of ones that you can take away and you can roll with. So that's prompts. You can use those things. It's super fun. Now, okay. Feel free to drop in the chats anything that pops up so I can see anything that's coming through here. I have a fun story. This is a kind of a coaching story, but I was in ChatGPT and I do a lot of coaching, right? I'm certified nonviolent communications. I've done a bunch of stuff. Do a lot of things, all that jazz. But what I did is, who here is taking a personality test? Let me see a thumbs up. Personality test, right? So put in what personality test you've taken. Myers-Briggs, Clifton, Strength Finders. Maybe you got another one that in there. Feel free to drop it in there, whatever one you took. So I've taken a whole bunch of them, color codes, astrology, even, and I've taken all of those different personality tests, and I took them all and I dumped them into ChatGPT. Now this story gets wild, and so I said, okay, your name is Dylan. Here's what you do as a company. Nice, Strength Finders, love it. And so you do this, and your name is Dylan. Here's all of your personalities. And I started having a conversation with myself in ChatGPT. It was really weird, really interesting. So then I went and grabbed my wife, and I said, check this out. This is my digital twin. And she's like, whatever. She doesn't really very, she's a lovely, skeptical woman. But she started chatting with. She goes, well, what do you value most? And it got it right. It goes, what about this? It got it right, and it started getting these things correct. And I thought it was super fun. She's like, okay. She walks away. Literally the next day, we get into like a full-on fight as loving and passionate people. We do. I'm Italian. She's Mexican. A lot of heat. We collided. It happens. And so I went back to my digital twin at ChatGPT and I said, you got into a fight with your wife. Here was the exact situation. Based upon everything, could you tell me why that happened? And it goes, well, exactly. Here's exactly why. Because you value this is what happens. Because these are some of your strengths. Here's what happened. You're defensive because of this. And here's this play by play of all the reasons why that happened. And here was crazy. I went and grabbed my wife. I brought her over. I showed her the prompt and it dissolved the fight because it wasn't coming from me. It was explaining it based upon my values, my strengths, my weaknesses, my personalities. It actually laid out what happened in the situation and why the fight occurred. So, super fun thing that you can do. And here is a bit of that prompt that you can use. Again, this whole thing will be available. No need to take a screenshot. It'll be available later, guys. and girls. Y'all. I like the term. From the South, they use a term called y'all. It means everybody. So I'm gonna work on that nomenclature. So you can take this, enter a whole bunch of personalities, and you can use this in your coaching business. Super fun. Next one we have here is frameworks. Frameworks. So what is a framework? We all know what frameworks are. So you all have coaching frameworks. Like there's the growth method, right? There's nonviolent communication. We talked about that. That's a coaching framework, right? Where you talk about identifying, what is the situation without emotions? This is what I feel, making a request, all that jazz. So there's frameworks. Personal, do you have any favorite frameworks? Does anybody have inside of here that you like to use in your coaching business? Is there a coaching framework maybe from ICF or anything else that you might use in your coaching business? Feel free to put those in there in the chat. Appreciative inquiry. Okay, appreciative inquiry. I don't know that one. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look into that. Okay, so here's my belief. You know how before I went back to this right here, I believe that the more frameworks that you know, the more accelerated your business will come. And while you use frameworks in your coaching business, what a framework is that there is a master. Somebody has gone through the jungles of life, carved a path, and said, hey, just use my framework to get from point A to point B. Right? In coaching, it could be inquisitive inquiries, it could be solution focused. It says use this path to get from point A to point B. Well, guess what? There are frameworks for identifying your avatar. There are frameworks for creating your offer. Alex Ramosi has got one called $100 Million Offer. You can check it out. Marketing the message. There's a bunch of different frameworks for that. And so the more frameworks you know in your business, the more accelerated your business will become. And that's why it's super awesome. Now you take frameworks, which is a proven path. It could be 5D, appreciative inquiry, plus AI. And now you have this framework plus this AI engine to generate things. AI, ChatGPT is what's known as generative AI. All that means is it makes stuff. Generative AI makes images, makes text, makes videos. That's what it does. So you take a framework, which is a layout, and then you use a generative AI like ChatGPT, and now you've got this thing that's a very powerful engine. Here is one that you can use. It's called I don't know if anybody here have heard of ClickFunnels, Russell Bronson. He's really big in the marketing space over here in the US. He's got a whole thing. But he has a framework called the soap opera sequence. Soap opera sequence. So let's just say you get somebody's email and you want to bring them to a free mastermind that you're doing for 90 minutes. And you want to send a series of emails to get them to show up, right? Well, he's got a series of emails called the soap opera framework to be able to get people, to get individuals to want to attend the event. And so the first email is an introduction, your back, and then what's going on, a backstory, some sort of conflict, a climax, and a resolution. So if I click this link here, I actually did this because here's this. This is the framework. These are the different emails. I actually did this for a mastermind 3-day event that I did for a $10,000 offer for a mastermind that I did back in the day, teaching people how to, use AI in their stuff and things. So this is the framework. And then I'm showing you the examples of this right here is actually my email that I used based upon this framework inside of here to craft. Again, this will be available. No need for screenshots. So this is the actual email sequence that I used to actually have people, like my Epiphany email here, to bring people to my event, which is known as lead nurturing, right? So you can use a framework like this soap opera sequence framework here, and this will be available at the very end, to bring people to your event. So if you have a bunch of emails, you're not doing email marketing, you want to figure out how do you get started, you can use the soap opera sequence to drive people to your event using the ChatGPT prompts plus whatever your situation is. Does that track with people? That makes sense? Can I get a thumbs up if that makes sense? Yeah. Can I get a thumbs down if it doesn't make sense? You're like, oh my God, this is terrible. Yeah. Okay. Everyone's on it. All right. Cool. So that's a framework. That is a lead nurturing framework. Here's another one. There's a guy by the name of Donald Miller. He has a thing called Story Brand. I don't know if anybody here has heard of Joseph Campbell. Joseph Campbell, awesome, huge fan. He wrote a book called The Monomyth, A Hero of a Thousand Faces. And he went around to all the world and he realized that there was this universal story told about human progression, brought it back here to the US. And as the US likes to do, we took it and we monetized the crap out of it by turning it into a whole bunch of Hollywood videos like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and all that fun stuff. But it's a story about human growth and personal development. Leave a village, go on growth, meet a mentor, they give you a tool, you battle, you get the crap kicked out of you, you fight a dragon, you slay the dragon, you come back with the prize, accepted or rejected. So this framework is something that you can use because people love this story and this narrative. Well, Donald Miller had said you could take this and you can put this as a story for your website or for anything else to bring somebody, a client or an avatar into your story. Because here's the things, here's the punchline. You are not the hero of the story to your clients. You are their mentor, you are their guide. One lesson about coaching is if you are the hero, you will be persecuted. If you tell them, I'm going to solve all of your problems and take all of your pain away, and I'm going to do it all for you, there's nothing for the hero to do. But if you said, I am your mentor, I am your guide, I am your Obi-Wan Kenobi, I will give you the tools as a coach gives you tools to help you survive and thrive in this era, but you have to slay the dragon. You have to make the choice. You have to divorce your husband. You have to ask for the raise. You've got to go to the gym, right? It's you, right? This is the proper format. Now, this is a framework that you can use with ChatGPT inside of here to get the same result. A character meets a problem, that's a villain, has a guide, which is you, the business, who gives them a framework, helps them get from point A to point B, then has them take a step, a call to action or a call to the adventure, helps them avoid failure. You know, oh my God, you're gonna get fat and die, you're gonna get broke, you're gonna lose your wife, whatever it is, right? And then ends in transformation. Marries the person, ends happily ever after, gets fit, gets on fire, gets respect, gets glory, all that jazz. Now you can take this framework and copy this here. Again, this will be an example available at the end, and put this inside of here. I put this inside of here as a ChatGPT prompt, and then over here created a website layout, right? So write a landing page, which is a website, using the story brand framework. Here's the framework, and then you insert this inside of there. And that is how you actually are able to then output. Let me see here. Uh, then you can output this right here, all these sections. And then you can take it, and if you want, you can dump it into something like this, a layout. So this is a really powerful framework called the story brand framework that would help you be able to progress using that. You know, if you click this link, again, you'll be able to get this deck afterwards at the very end. Like it'll take you to the story brand framework. All you do is you pop in information. You know, who is your customer? What's their problem? What does it look like? You know, usually the problems around what? Health, wealth, fitness, you know, relationships, that kind of stuff. So that's frameworks. I highly recommend, in terms of frameworks, looking at these areas and going, where am I stuck in my business? Right? Do I not have enough leads in my business, enough money, enough clients? Okay, well, then I'd probably look at your avatar, your offer, your message, your leads, your lead nurturing process, and find frameworks that to support that. You take those frameworks, throw it in ChatGPT, and will it really help you avoid the curse of the blank space, as they say, the white page. Okay, so next we're going to talk about tools. Tools are AI tools is where someone's, you know, plugged in a chat GPT to the back end of something or have done something really, really useful. These are some practical, tactical ones. These are ones that I use almost every day. They're very, very powerful. So the first one we're going to get into is Descript. Who here knows Descript? You can say thumbs up if you know it. If you don't, it's all good. All right. Cool. Awesome. Uh, I see this. Someone's using StoryBrand framework. That's great. So Descript. So what Descript is Part of being the game of having any business, I know nobody wants to hear this, is marketing, is putting yourself out there. And most coaches go, I just want to coach. I just wish I had a flood of leads coming up my door and I didn't have to do any of that. Well, we're not quite there yet. So what you can do though, which is super useful, because one of the things that's terrible about marketing is putting your face out there and making yourself sound perfect and right, and the ums and the ers, and I wish I didn't say that, and I feel dumb. Descript helps with that, and here's the way that it helps. You can record a video as long as you need it to be, and you can rant all that I want, and I can say my ums and ers and all that fun stuff. You take the video, you drop it into Descript here, and what happens is your video over here, the good face pose right here, it will take that and it will make a Word document right next to it. Now, here's the powerful thing. All you need to do is edit the Word document. Like you can highlight and you can delete a word and it will automatic remove it from the video. So if you say you can automatically remove it by deleting it from the Word document right here. And so all you need to do is just edit the Word document. So you could try your intro 57 times. Go, hi, my name is Coach this. I mean, I'm the coach that. I mean, I'm coach. And you can do that. And I do that until I feel like I get a good take. And then I go on to the next section. Right. And so I can delete the other 56 times I said it wrong. Right. And you can make it tight and clean and real easy. And then you can export it outwards. You can also add captions. One of the crazier things it does, it can train on your voice. So imagine I want to say the word um, coach, but instead I say the word consultant. I can actually highlight the word and overdub it and change it from the word coach to the word consultant. And it will actually change it using my voice. So it's a really powerful, amazingly simple to use editing tool. It's not free. I don't know how much it is. I think it's like 20 bucks a month or something. I'm not too sure. It depends on how much you use it, but very useful. And if you want to make a whole bunch of videos and cut them out, I have a couple podcasts. One is called Heroes of Reality, around Joseph Campbell's Heroes of Reality kind of thing. I've got a couple hundred on my belt. I used to take this, I used to do the podcast, and I used to edit down all these little tiny clips where I'd highlight the video, cut it out, and I'd use this to make all those short form media. So very useful tool. Next one is a great coaching tool. This is called Fathom AI. And this is you can get started for free. I think I had the free account, but here's what's awesome about it. You might see my Fathom somewhere in here. I don't know if it's floating around in the recesses of this meeting, but it pretty much joins in all meetings automatically for me. So I join, again, I have no affiliation with these people. I use it. So you can get started here. It's called Fathom. But here's what's amazing for as a coaching tool. This is actually a couple of my coaching clients. This is an actual video image for me. This is my little Fathom in the background watching it. This is actually a drug prevention speaker. He does like 400 speaking gigs a year, and I'm helping him scale his coaching presenting business. But in the meeting, not only does it automatically record everything and automatically transcribe everything, you see this little box here? In the meeting, all I need to do is click one of these buttons, like this insight or action item or feedback. I can make any ones that I want. Like it could be positive statement. It could be I need to add this to my coaching notes. It will automatically timestamp that moment in the meeting that you're having and save it to the back end of the system. And so what's incredibly useful is that it's already taken all the notes. It captures all the questions that were said, and it will also summarize what was happening in the meeting. So it could be you opened up with a question like this. You then got into some difficult topics. You then got into this. And here's all the questions that happened. Here's your transcript, and here's all the timestamps. It's basically a coach's assistant ready to go. So very useful tool. I love it. I actually do this sometimes when I want to get like testimonials from clients. I'll jump into a meeting, just have a very casual conversation. It's in the background doing its thing. I will then download it, bring it into Descript that I just showed you here, and then I'll edit out just the testimonial. So it's a very organic testimonial, because sometimes when you ask people, tell me something awesome, you're being recorded, people freak out. And so it's a really good way to naturally capture everything and then cut it into something nice. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. This is more of an super easy one called Opus Pro. I don't know if anybody here has been on a podcast, or does anybody have any like long form content where they've talked for a while, like an hour or two or whatever. But this is almost magic. It's almost magic. So you can take let's just say you had a YouTube video. You drop the YouTube video inside of this Opus Pro, Opus Clips, right? And what happens is it will take a long form video from like YouTube and it will cut it up into like, it will look for the most viral organic social media content in that hour long thing. It will cut it out into like 1 minute sections. It will then turn it into a vertical clip for like Instagram or TikTok. It will then add captions on top of it. It will then give it a title and a description automatically, automagically. It will, you just grab the URL link, YouTube link, you paste it in there, and it will cut it out and say, this is the most viral one, followed by this, by this, by this, by this, by this. I've done it. It's great. It's useful. Welcome. So this is called Opus Pro. It's a great tool. I highly recommend it. Again, it's not free, but the companies try to make money. I don't know what it is. I don't have an affiliate link for it, but it's very, very useful if you've got a whole bunch of things and you don't want to like cut it up. So awesome. So those are three very useful tools that you can use all the time. And by the way, feel free to put any questions you have in the comments down below, anything that you want to know about. I will address it at the end of this stuff, unless it kind of goes in my flow, and I'll get to that. Um, Level 4, agents. I don't know, have you all heard of agents? When I say AI agents, can I get a thumbs up or thumbs down? I have heard of it, or I haven't heard of agents. Okay, okay, got it. So we got one thumbs down. Tina, boo, boo. No. All right. All right, awesome. All right, well, thumbs up. Okay, cool. So just to demystify the whole AI agents jazz, the way that it really works is this. AI agents are nothing more than AI that takes actions. That's what it does. It just takes actions. So an AI agent is something that can take an action. Generating text, generative AI, right? I talked about ChatGPT is generative AI, or Midjourney, which makes images, is generating the images, right? Or Sora from ChatGPT generates videos. Those are all generative. An AI agent takes actions, and it pretty much takes actions online. And so it does some sort of activity, book an email, make a phone call, text somebody, do some research online. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do, right? But this is where we're all moving to, right? We're moving to this era of these AI agents. And the more that you know about this, the more your life will be enhanced from it once you build these things out. In the same way that you have a framework in a business, there is an SOP. We call them SOPs here, standard operating procedures. It's the way that you do stuff in your business, right? And when you lay out what an SOP is in your business, whether it could be how you market, how you fulfill with clients, like I'm assuming that you all have unconscious or conscious SOPs that you do with coaching. I meet the client. I book the Zoom call. I send them a follow-up email. I send a text message and check in on how they're doing. There's an operating procedure that you do. If you can map those operating procedures on what you do, you can generally build an AI agent or a workflow behind that to be able to streamline that process. For example, you meet with someone on Zoom, you coach them. At the very end of it, you can have an AI agent pull out those coaching notes, summarize the points, pull out the action items, and then be able to message your client and yourself what needs to get done. Right? So that's a bit of a concept of the AI agent flow. So with that, we're gonna show you some actual practical examples here. Again, this will be kind of part where we're gonna be leaving the train station to the part where you're gonna kind of go, whoop, maybe too much, but I'm gonna show you what it looks like, and we're gonna get into it. Who here has heard of GPTs from OpenAI? OpenAI GPTs, thumbs up from people's. Yeah, okay, got it. Beautiful. Okay, we got some people, thumbs up. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, so GPTs, for some of you that do know and that you don't know, it's like it's the easy level of AI agents. You can take it, you can train it on your own data and actions. It's inside of OpenAI. What it is, it's a custom trained model. So one of my coaches is a worthiness coach. He teaches people to have worthiness and value, and he helps people do that. And he's written 3 books. So what we did is we took the GPT, right? We uploaded his 3 books of data, right? We also then uploaded a chat history of him trying to coach the GPT, coach a chat GPT on like how to work with him. Cause I'm sure all of you kind of go back and forth and go, no, not like this, like that, not like this, like that. You can copy all that data and train it on it. And then you have this custom GPT that you can use for yourself, but you could also use it as a lead magnet that you could send to people. Hey guys, or y'all, I made this amazing GPT that helps you get fit, get rich, have amazing relationships. If you want it, send me your email and I'll give it to you. Right. And so you can make those and you can give them to people as a useful little lead magnet. They're very easy to make. If you have ChatGPT Pro, it's like 20 bucks a month, 20 US dollars. And then you should be at maybe 30 now. I don't know. But you should be able to go inside there and make them very, very easy. Just do it by, clicking the plus button. You can add a description right here. You add the instructions like, I want you to be a super helpful, awesome coach that coaches people around health, wealth, relationships, or whatever it might be. You can have a little prompt starter question like, well, tell me how your day is going, or what's upsetting you right now, or yeah. Um, and then you upload anything into this knowledge base here. This knowledge base, when I say upload the books, but basically it goes into its long-term memory. So when you upload these files right here, it now gets trained on that data. So you could give it your book, or you could take heaven forbid, an ICF coaching book, Prosperous Coach or whatever it might be, and then upload it inside of there and be able to use it. Now it's got that and it's long-term memory and it's useful. And then you can test it over here and then hit save when you're ready to go. And you can either make it public, but I like to have link only. And then you can, ethically bribe people to give them your email, and then you can give them the GPT that you work so hard on. So these are GPTs. There's more advanced features that I won't go into. This called actions, where you can upload actions using a bit of code that could capture data out of there. It's a bit more advanced of a topic. I did it covered on the social media channel, but essentially you could actually extract data out of this thing. So you could ask for someone's name and email inside the GPT, and you can go send it to your database or your email inbox or whatever it might be. But those are called actions. Those are called actions. That's the actions of the GPT. Those actions is what makes it an agent. The fact that it can take actions like that with a little extra code. You can plug it into Zapier or other things and make those things happen. Cool. Awesome. So this is going to be something that anybody here can do out the gate, ready to go, and it'll be awesome. So feel free to use that. And I highly recommend you can also train those different GPTs that I talked about on the different areas of your business. Like you can train a GPT on help me find my avatar. You can have another GPT, help me create my offer, help me market my message, right? And you can actually have them for each phase of your business depending on where you're at. Okay. So the next thing is a bit more advanced. These are more use cases, practical examples. They're going to be a bit more advanced. I'll talk about how they get done, but it's a bit more advanced. Before that, uh, I have this link here, which I basically scraped a whole bunch of websites and I put together a list of 7,000 plus GPTs. And basically, these GPTs are all searchable inside this Notion database. So you can grab this link. Again, the deck will be made available. So anything that you're looking for, whether it is to help you with your offer or your avatar or your other things, it's all inside of this database right here. And you can click this link and be able to get access to that. It's all searchable and it has little tags here depending on what you're looking for. Because the OpenAI ChatGPT searchable database kind of sucks. And so this is better. All right. Now, this is a bit more advanced, but I'm going to do my best to show you what it is and how it works, and we'll dive into what this AI agent is. So this is something that I made. Again, I'm like one half tech studio, one half consultant. What across here I'm using is called Make. It's one way to kind of plug in to get agents to take actions online. And what this one is I've got a coach. He's the worthiness coach I was mentioning before, right? He built his own worthiness, helping people find worth and value, GPT. But we want to actually help it write articles for him on LinkedIn because most of his leads come from LinkedIn. That's where he gets most of his leads. And so what we did here, and I'll show you the way this thing works, is that we had it look for news online, right, around his topics. His topics are imposter syndrome, resilient leadership, employment transitions. That's the areas that he helps people with. I'm sure each of you help people. It could be, getting over alcohol. It could be, getting a six pack of abs, whatever it might be. But we're looking for news articles, right, around his topic, which was imposter syndrome, right? We then made through the back end of OpenAI called the API Sys, which is like the code version of GPT. We took all of that data that we use for the GPT and we trained it to say, hey, I want you to write LinkedIn messages in this person's style and voice. Here's his books. Here's who he is. Here's some information about him. Here's his LinkedIn post. And then I want you to look at this news article. So look at the news article, look at this LinkedIn post, and then I want you to, or look, sorry, look at this news article. And then based on who he is, I want you to write this LinkedIn post and then put it in a spreadsheet. And then when you do that, I want you to send him a text message. And so you can see that it says, here's some imposter syndrome article. Here's it writing it out, going, hey, are you feeling stuck? Or, whatever it might be around imposter syndrome. And then over here it goes, hey, Robert, that's his name. Your research assistant's here. Here's the article. So he doesn't do anything. He just gets text message. Maybe it's WhatsApp for you. Gets message and goes, oh, cool. That's super useful. Thank you so much. And now he can just take a look at that. It's in his style and his voice, and he can maybe modify it a little bit, and then boom, out the door. Right. And so he is now going to be a source of information. He doesn't need to search online. He doesn't need to be relevant. It summarizes the points. It summarizes the stats and facts. It summarizes everything. It gives him that and then kicks it right out the door. And so you could see how this would be a workflow because before, what would he do? He would go online, he would look at the news, he'd find something relevant, he would then think about how it works, he would then write the message, and then he'd post it online. Cool, got it, track. So this is one other example of how to use AI agents to generate leads on LinkedIn. Here's another one that we made for a macro fitness, people that are trying to lose weight and be fit and ripped and all that jazz. This one right here is there's a couple more steps inside of here, but the way that it works, I don't know if you all have heard of Typeform. It's just like a Google form where you can fill out a form. What's your name? What's your email? Tell me a little something about yourself. So online, we fill out these forms, right? Typeform is just one place that you do it, right? But the way that this works was a lead generation tool for a website. And these are all the exact steps of it actually happening. I'll talk about what it does. But someone goes to the website and they're like, I want to get ripped. I want to have a ripped body. I want to be fit for summer because I got to fit in that bikini. So they put in their name and their email. They put in a couple of facts about who they are and like what they want to lose and all that fun stuff. And then what this does is it takes that simple entry about who they are and some things about it, uses ChatGPT right here, and then uses a template of a Google slide deck to then make a customized, personalized slide deck talking about them, the foods they like, why macros are important, what that looks like, and then it automatically emails it to them right over here, right? So you can see this workflow that you don't need it. Now, it takes a little bit of time to set this up, but once it sets up, you get an instant time to value, fill out a form, customized, personalized ChatGPT responded deck. Now, and you get the email. Now you can combine that with the 5 email soap opera sequence I showed you later on to then nurture them into your event, right? So now you're kind of combining these together where you can say, give me your email, I'll give you immediate value. And then you use AI to help write a number of emails to then get them into your event, right? So this is the macro tracking thing, slide deck that we made, but it could be for really anything. So that was really useful. Next up, we're going into a bit more advanced still, and then we're going to probably dial it back from here. I do podcasting, as you probably can tell from my background and stuff. I've spent a lot of time with my butt in this chair. So I've done a couple hundred episodes of podcasting, really about understanding, deconstructing, modern day heroes in life, technology, and business to inspire the listener to become the hero of their own story. And so I've done this a lot. And so I was curious, can I use AI to make a podcast? And so what this was something I did for myself where all you do on the side of things, this is a bit of a minimized version, is you go to this news website called Feedly, right? And you click just an interesting article like women in the AI era, whatever it is. And so I just clicked it and added it to this board. So each day I can click this and add three new news articles to the board that I just find to be interesting. I'm like, oh, that's really neat. That's a really neat thingy thing, right? What it does on the backside is a bit magical. Uh, it takes that, ChatGPT summarizes it, right? Adds a couple images to it. It then goes to a website called 11 Labs that takes my clone voice of my own voice, and it takes it and it reads the news articles for the day, and then kicks that out onto SoundCloud where I can then upload that to be a podcast. Now, I know you might say like bullshit or whatever. I don't know how much I can cuss in here, so I'll keep it as PC as I can. But this is one of the things you can see here, and this is the AI news for today, Wednesday 3, art April 2024. A fresh report indicates an unprecedented opportunity for developing countries brought about by AI or artificial intelligence. That's not me. I didn't do anything, right? All I did was go to Feedly, and this is all of the different ones of all the different podcasts, right? So this is a bit more advanced, but this is kind of where we're going. We talked to, originally, we're like, I really wish I just didn't do anything and AI took care of everything. This is kind of where we're getting with all that stuff. So this is a bit more advanced of a piece, but it's there and you can do it. But this is make.com. You can take a look at that, and that's what that looks like. So, really, that's everything, people. Those are all the topics that we've gotten into. Feel free to email me, website, if you want this deck. I will drop this link inside of here. And anybody that fills out this link will be able to get the deck and do all that fun stuff. I will think I have to stop sharing so I can minimize my screen. I'll drop that in there, but feel free to add any questions, comments, criticisms down below. I'm open to all things. So feel free to put any questions or comments that you had inside of here. And there's the link. When you say ChatGPT, do you mean the plus version? Yes. Yes, I do mean that. Well, ChatGPT to make the GPTs, they from my last checked is they want you to be on the plus version and make those GPTs. They might be available eventually for the non-paid people, but as far as I know, you have to be on the GPT Plus Pro account in order to make those GPTs. Yes, that is correct. All right. When you share the customized GPT, does the other person need to have the plus version? That is the annoying thing. That is 100% correct. Yes, OpenAI, because of Microsoft, it's really annoying. Now is the reasons. One of the reasons why we switched out to doing the back end one on the more the code side is if you're using code, you don't need to go through the OpenAI platform. But yes, you need to make the GPT plus version, the GPT on there, and need to share it with somebody who also has the plus version as well. As far as I've checked, that's what it is. It is incredibly annoying, but they are a business, and so they like money. And so I wish we didn't have to deal with that, but that is the case for that currently. And feel free, Huda, if you want to just put your comments down below, you can. I mean, if you want to speak, you can speak. If you so inclined to grab the mic, I'm open to that as well. But I'm happy to do it either way. So feel free to just jump on and start talking or put your questions down below and we'll dive into it. I can also show you examples and I can go into more in depth and things. I figured I'd leave a lot of time for this back half conversating. So, do you draw a line around you won't use AI? Are there types of content or services where you always do things yourself rather than engaging in AI? Yeah, for sure. For sure. 100%. Um, the question is, how much do you trust the AI, right? Like I have a Tesla. I don't trust full self-driving mode because if I'm gonna die, it's gonna be by my own hands. The self-driving mode's a little wild. So there's some things that I don't. It depends on like how intimate you need to be with situations, and where's the value. Some people, I'll be specific on this because I think it would be helpful, right? So a lot of email marketing messages, if I'm going to send emails out to groups of people or things like that, or reminders, I'll use a lot of automated or AI messagings or things like that. But usually it's a dance. I think of it kind of like 90-10. So what you want to do is you want to have ChatGPT or AI do 90% of the work, and then you at the back half, you put a bow on it. If you think about it like a boss, right? If you're the boss, the AI is the intern. Bad bosses that are not good, they're lazy. And what do lazy bosses do? They hire the intern. They tell the intern to do the work. They don't train the intern. They get mad at the intern for not knowing, and then they fire the intern because the intern didn't know and wasn't any good. A good boss brings the intern in, understands that they don't know the business, teaches, trains, leads, and guides it from a perspective going, no, not like this, like that, not like this, like that. And then over time, once the intern has proven himself, then the boss can take a step back and let the intern take the actions while he monitors or she monitors, and then over time completely step away. And the same is true with AI. So generally speaking, what you want to do is not like, you go in initially and just say, how do I get leads online? Right? You got to be very specifically, right? How do I get leads on LinkedIn as a executive coach who trains in nonviolent communication for teams that are poorly functioning? And I'm looking for three that's a much more specific thing. I recommend always looking back at what you have done and what's worked for you, and then using those things to teach, train, lead, and guide it. Give it what's called few shot prompting. Few shot is shot equals example. So if you want to say, um, for let's just say you have situations where you're messaging clients, and let's just say you shoot them WhatsApp messages to check up on them, right? What you could do is you could take your WhatsApp messages that you use and train ChatGPT with examples and say, this is the way that I talk to my clients. This is what this looks like. And then it starts to get your language and say, now you try. And it goes like this, and then you make some small tweaks. So try to find some examples of the things that you've done, feed it to it, tell it its goal, go back and forth a couple of times, and then go, great, just like that. Right. And then you could do that. Now, you could take that exact same thing and plug it into a bunch of other services, but that's the way that you generally want to do it out the date. But almost always, you don't want to always just turn the blind eye. You want to lead and train it until you build confidence. And once you build confidence in it, you take one step back, you have it take the lead, and then you keep doing that thing. And you always want to try to do it from some sort of ideally historical proof. What have you done in the space? Or let's just say there's a coach that you admire. And I'll give you another example. Let's just say there might be another coach that you admire and respect and I'm going to speak to marketing, who just knows how to market better than you, who's always sending those annoying emails consistently, but you know that they're doing really well, and you just really wish that you could do as good as they are. Well, what you could do is you could save all of their emails, copy and paste them into ChatGPT, and say, you see these emails that Sarah does for her coaching business? Well, I want to do emails just like that, but my coaching business is like this. Could you rewrite this email for my business like this? Right. And then you could just keep doing that. And so you could look at other people's examples as a model if you don't have your own examples to model. Okay, okay. Let's see here. Um, I feel like I'm just crawling and you're telling me how to get ready for a marathon. What advice would you share to take it step by step? I am currently using ChatGPT for it, and questions and answers are only consciously polite. Yes, sure. Fantastic. Let's go back to the beginning, and let me give you basically two small things that we can do to move you forward that is practical and tactical. Remember, I said at the very beginning, this is going to be a train stop. Some people are going to get at the first stop. Some people are going to get off at the last stop. So we're going to go back to the first stop just to kind of show you something here. So here's what we're going to do. Here's a bunch of frameworks. Cool. Sorry, this is a bunch of spots where you can apply frameworks. Okay. Here is a bunch of prompts or not prompts, but basically ways to improve your prompts. Okay. So let's just say you're struggling with identifying your avatar. Go into ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, I'm looking for frameworks. This is what's known as meta prompting. I'm looking for frameworks around helping me identify my avatar. I will give you a $50 tip and great harm will happen to you if you do not help me find my avatar. So help me come up with 5 frameworks that I could use to help come up with my avatar. Right? So then inside of there, it will give you 5 frameworks. You then go pull those frameworks out and then you put in your data, right? So now you're using ChatGPT to come up with a framework, and then you're using ChatGPT to fill out your framework by popping in with your own data. Let's just say you get your avatar down. Great. Offer. Hey, ChatGPT, I don't know how to do an offer. Help me come up with 5 frameworks. I'm a coach. Here's who I serve. Here's my avatar because I know what my avatar is now. Help me come up with 5 frameworks. Don't be polite. Say, I want you to do it this way. Break down the framework step by step. I will give you $1,000 tip. You must do this, and then great harm will happen to me if you don't do this. Right? Again, go back to the beginning. Okay, ChatGPT, help me come up with some marketing frameworks. I want to market on LinkedIn. I'm looking to give me 5 frameworks that I could use on LinkedIn to help grow my audience. My avatar, my audience are these people. My offer is this one-on-one coaching, right? Help me come up with 5 frameworks that help me come up with a call to action so that I can get their email because I really want their free email. And then you're going to use these things to come across that. It's going to give you 5 frameworks for marketing your message on LinkedIn, right? And now you've got your marketing lead message, right, on LinkedIn, and you're going to go through that process. And so now you're using the combination of these buckets, this system, and what's known as meta prompting to kind of fill this out and walk through the process. Does that help with everybody? Does that work? Does that track? Do you need me to like go back a step or is that thumbs up? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Well, I will stop sharing that. And then let me open the chats. Okay. Crawling. Okay. I am consciously polite while I'll ask you. Got it. Okay. Got it. Okay. Do you trust the AI tools that are available inside the application? Oh, versus Canva? Do I trust them? Do I trust them? I guess what do you mean by trust? I guess does it perform its duty? Well, I mean, probably does. Most of them are just plugging in the chat GPT, like I'd say like 95% of the time. Um, and so I mean, you can just go to chat GPT or you can use the AI. I mean, I trust them well enough. Now, do they take my data? Probably most of the time, So do I trust them to take all of my data and try to use it to market to me? I trust that they'll do that. So that's about as far as I'll go with that. How do I make the content more human? Cool. Uh, so the way that you can make it more human is a couple different ways. One, there's a couple things. Feed it examples of what human is. It doesn't know what you mean by more human, right? Like I'm talking in a very specific style and cadence and communication, and I think overall you all here get the gist of kind of how I speak. Right? I could take this transcript and feed it into AI and say, I want you to talk in this style. And by the way, could you tell me if you were to summarize a prompt, ChatGPT, tell me, I'm going to give you some examples. What would you prompt me as to get this type of output, right? So you could feed it. It could be you speaking. It could be your emails. It could be your text messages. It could be you talking to your best friend or girlfriend or whatever it might be, and you can feed it that data and say, I want you to write an email. Here's an example email of what this looks like, more human, and now get this right. And then you can go back and forth and train it on that. Now, once it gets it right, you can always ask it, great, based upon this, what prompt would you write to get this type of output? And then it will tell you what type of prompt it wants. This is informative. This is casual. This is this. And you can pull that prompt out. You might need to retrain it a little bit, but at least it'll give you a prompt back. It's called meta prompting. That's how you get it to be more human. One thing that works well, just a simple thing, is no yapping. No, no yapping. You know that we all can kind of smell the Chat GPT flair on things that uses these words and style that you can like, that was probably written by AI. You might have gotten a text message from a loved one and you're like, that was probably AI. You know, if you use the word no yapping, the words no yapping, it usually will cut a lot of that fluff out. People generally speak shorter and more casual. And so that's a little short little hack. I have requested ChatGPT. I want a more empathetic response. You okay? I want a more empathetic response. I mean, I mean, I'd have to hear a little more of the context. I would say tell it to be more empathetic, or you could say, hey, right now, 1 out of 10, you were probably a level 2 empathetic. I want you to respawn back. I want you to reply to me at a level 4 empathetic. Okay, cool. Now I want you to reply to me at a level 6 empathetic. Okay, what does level 8 empathetic look like? And so you're testing it by giving it a barometer. You're saying right now, and I'm sure most of us wishes we could do that with our significant others and the other. Hey, 1 out of 10, I don't feel like you're hearing me right now. Like you're a level 2, really acknowledging my feelings. Can we get to like a level 8 acknowledging my feelings? That would be wonderful. But you gotta set the barometer for it. Tom, hey Tom. I Once you've educated ChatGPT as you described, do you have to go back to that every time you want that approach, or can you save it as a framework? That's a great question. Yes and no, which is always the best answer because you know it's the most truthful. So the way that it works is this. It's got a context memory. So we all have short-term memory. And typically speaking, most humans can keep about 7 different things in their head at the same time, and then you start to lose, right? That's why you don't want to give people more than 7 options. Hey, you've got 3 options, makes a lot of sense. If you tell your significant other, your wife, your husband, hey, I'm thinking about these 10 different places. What are you thinking? They're like, ugh, it's too much, right? Three is a good one. Seven's a bit overwhelming. So in AI, it's got a context memory. It all depends on which one you're using. A couple thousand, couple 100,000 characters as it goes, and it starts to forget stuff over time. And so ChatGPT 4 is better than ChatGPT 3. I'm sure ChatGPT 5. They say that they're going to have like a million character contracts context. I don't know about that. But right now it's got a short-term memory. So over a while, it does tend to forget things over time. But what you can do is you can either kind of reteach it things as it starts to forget stuff, or another thing that you could do is if you have you could copy and paste the chat transcript. It's a little hacky. You could copy and paste the train chat transcript, and then you could go into a new window and then upload it as a document. So you could upload your chat history as a document, and then what that does is that shifts from short-term memory to what's called vertex memory, which is long-term memory. And so the long-term memory, you now have this long-term memory thing where it now has we all have short-term memory of people's names, so you have long-term memory. So you upload it and now it understands that. So you might need to do some small tweaks and changes, but that's kind of a way to get around it. There's other ones that are a bit more advanced, like fine-tuning models and things, but it's a bit more technical. But yes, that's how you do that. Much better. Thank you. Okay. Um, okay, do you want to say that? Okay, much better. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Thank you. Setting the barometer or empathetic approach. Yes. Okay, the statement. Great session. Thank you for your answers. Really appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you so much for your insights and sharing. Awesome session. Great. Awesome, everybody. Cool. Um, Great. I'm happy to answer any more questions if you got them. If we all want to get back 24 minutes of our life and end early, I'm good with that as well. It's a choose your own adventure with everything here. Again, if you want to get the deck, all you need to do is click that type form, put in your name, your email, and answer one question, and and it will automatically be done through the power of AI automation to the back end. It will be sent to you. So the exact same system that you saw me build for what I just showed you in the demonstrations. That link does that exact same thing, similar at least. It takes the type form, it takes the entries, it looks at them, it looks at your name and your email. It then puts your email inside a generated email message along with the link and then sends it off to you. So you can do that a whole bunch of other ways with other automations out there, but just that we all know. Cool. Awesome. Great. I am so glad that everybody found a ton of value in this. If there's no more questions, we can conclude this time. I see Cosmin turned on his audio.
Actually, a question here. First of all,
Sure.
thank you for the presentation. Wonderful one.
Sure.
Question, a very simple one. For the email itself and all the automation that was done behind, how much code did you write? Was there any form of coding needed?
Almost very little code. Very good. Now knowing the system. So I'll be specific with this. I have some clients that I do more advanced coding for. Like I build them, like I have a coach who runs a home care business, and I have to make the code because I'm making him a website, basically a ChatGPT website trained on his systems so that he can go and sell that to his clients. So that's a lot more code involved, right? Because we've got to make a website and do things and stuff. So that's a bit more code. For what I'm showing you right now, those elements, most of them weren't done with code, but the thing is, it is hyper technical because there are logic inside of it. And so there's technical hurdles. So it's not the same thing as going into the thing about ChatGPT and what makes it a great product is that if you want to make a great product, make everybody feel awesome and powerful. That's the way to do it. So if you want to be an amazing coach, help your clients feel awesome and powerful, right? If you want to build an amazing product, help them feel awesome and powerful. And here's the thing, everybody knows how to text. It's a universal thing. The thing is, you take a universal thing that anybody can do, a 5-year-old can do it by doing speech to text, and turns them into the most knowledgeable and powerful person on the planet. That's the reason why that is such an amazing juxtaposition on it. Now with this, it's more technical. So, but you can do it. The one I showed you is called make.com. You can look up tutorials and see how those things are going through the process. You just want to map out the flows of logic, right? So you have to logically think, where's the data coming in? How is the data moving through it? Training the AI, training the ChatGPT on the back end, plugging it in. I'm using APIs if you know what that means, and I'm
Yep.
bringing them in there. I'm training the models, and I'm designing the flows out on the back end of the system. There are some JSONs if you know what those are.
Yep.
In terms of okay, cool. So I'm using some JSONs and stuff like that where I'm training. Hey, this is the data expect for the payload and all that fun stuff. But most of it is more about like it's more about understanding those patterns, like coding. Like if you know code, there's coding patterns. So same thing with workflows, there's workflow patterns. So if you understand those workflow patterns and those use cases and you've done it a number of times, then you can sail through them pretty quickly. Like most coders, if you had to go make a ping pong game or whatever it is, it's super fast. But if not, then you could get tripped up really hardcore and get stuck because you don't know to click that one button or that thing needs a comma. Or as you know, in the coding world, and then you're just tearing your hair out unless you have some sort of senior level coder that says, hey, click that button, do that thing, and then everything goes by smoothly. So answer your question?
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. For sure.